Well, this will be interesting tonight. There's only the
I
two of
thought
us.
Steve was coming.
He might be late.
User entered your channel.
Steve, we want you to participate, Steve. Like trade off reading topics. We're not going to make Joe do it because it's his first time. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah, he might have his mic on. I don't know. All right, well, we're going to start. Ready?
Yep.
User in your channel started recording.
Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters Gregory Hectus,
Yo.
Stephen Llewellyn. I don't know if Steve's with us or not, and special guest Joe Owen.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Hey, welcome. Glad you guys could make it. A little short turnout tonight, kind of surprising, but let's move on. First, I want to mention we have a sponsorship, guys. We actually have the Old Bastards Racing League has an ARCA Monday night series that they're running every Monday, and iRacers Lounge podcast is the presenting sponsor of this series. And we do appreciate and are very proud to associate with the Old Bastards Racing League. We appreciate the opportunity to, be the presenting sponsor on a league like that. Anyway, if you want more information about how to get involved, go to oldbastardsracing.com, actually. And I know Chris actually ran in this race. I don't know why he's not with us tonight, but I was hoping he would tell us about it. I think he had a pretty good running. If I recall what he said, he had a good run going, and something happened, and it didn't work out. But yeah, very happy to have Old Bastards Racing League involved with our podcast here at iRacers Lounge, and so check those guys out and check their Monday Night ARCA series. And from what it sounds like, it's pretty fun, from what Chris has been saying.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get in.
They're
Yeah,
always
go ahead.
talking about it.
Yeah, and I think Tony just got involved too with those guys.
Yeah, he just signed up.
Yeah. If I wasn't working on Monday, I might be involved too. But all right, let's jump to our special guest, Joe Owen. Thanks, Joe, for joining us. You've been part of the team at Tifosi for quite a while now, and we just haven't had your schedule clear to get you on the podcast. So I'm glad to have you finally. Let's learn a little bit about you. What initially brought you to iRacing, and how did you first hear about it?
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, my schedule is kind of crazy with me being in law enforcement, and actually I'm at work now. But iRacing, actually, I got involved in that
That's
real
funny.
heavy in 2016. I heard about it in like October of 2015, and then I was like really interested, and it's like, well, man, I want to try that. So I went and bought a bunch of stuff and um, got everything ready to go, and I joined iRacing like the last week or something like that of December of 2015, and then didn't have good internet in the house, so I had to wait till middle of January for that to happen. So once that happened, I took off from there and been rolling ever since.
You certainly have. I brought up your stats here. Your overall winning percentage in oval, 7.0%. That's pretty darn good. You got, it looks like 9 wins overall, career wins in official, out of your 128 starts. So that's 7%. That's a good number.
Yeah, I mean, my first year in it, whenever I started, I think after 4 days I was on there, I won my first race, and then I think it only took me like a month, a little over a month. I had my A license, and then I got in with a league, the Domino's TYJ League, and I ran with them for a while, and really was just trying to get my feet up under me, and that's where I met Bobby Jonas at, and he got on the box with me and taught me a lot, and a few other guys that I came up with, that year, and then Bobby was telling me about y'all, and I was like, yeah, I'll come join.
Yeah, so let's talk about what are you running now mostly? Obviously, you're running some NIS, and are you doing any leagues? I mean, what else is currently going on?
I mean, I'm a member of the SOMO League, but I don't really get to run that because my schedule had changed. I was working, all daylights, and now I have to work nights, and now I'm working like every other Wednesday, the way the schedule works out. So the league stuff I'm really not messing with anymore. I'm just mainly messing with NIS and really trying to get my legs under me with building setups. I mean, I did a whole lot of it over the winter, and now I'm moving over into the Motec part of it and trying to get the good understanding of that so I can, help the team out and we can roll on.
Absolutely. It's been fun working with you on setups, and you were spotting a little bit for other drivers as well and encouraging those guys. Let's talk about your hardware. I mean, what do you got for wheels, pedals, how many monitors, what third-party software?
Actually, I run a GTO Mega chassis. I got one single monitor, but I run the Oculus Rift, so the monitor really doesn't really come into play with me. Running Fanatec 2.5 wheel, which next year I'm probably going to upgrade to the direct drive Fanatec. Running the V3 inverted pedals and everything Fanatec shifter and my PC. I just built that actually. Bobby helped me do that over the phone. So I got a Corsair 760T case and the Coffee Lake i7 8700K, so 1080
That's
Ti.
good.
So yeah, I got it pumped out.
Yeah, the TI 1080, yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. Well, and then you're talking about the new direct drive podium. Boy, that's a real upgrade too.
Oh yeah, I'm real interested. I figured that I'll wait till next fall before I buy that. That way they can, if they have any bugs in it or whatever, they can work that out before I get my hands on it.
It's definitely on the top of my list too. All right, with the Oculus Rift, are you doing any third-party software or what?
I mean, I run the Sim Racer app. Only thing I run with that is, just for pit road for speed, but other than that, the only other thing I use is the Oculus tool. That way it boosts the rendering.
Another Fanatic fan.
Makes it a little bit more clear.
Right.
But other than that, I use voice attack. That way I don't have to, mess with the keyboard at all because I can't see it anyway. So.
Oh yeah, gotta love the voice attack. Okay, cool. And finally, what's your most memorable iRacing moment?
Actually, I got a few of them. I just had one here recently. We had Indy Sunday, and I did really well in that. Took the lead with 4 laps to go, and I had a little mishap going into turn 1, got a little loose, and the second place guy got back around me, so I wasn't able to recover to be able to run and get by him again. So that's 2 years in a row I finished second at Indy. So maybe next year will be a better year for me. We can get that win there.
Yeah, that is something when you're right there and you're only a laps away from the win. Do you think it was just nerves? I do the same thing when you're like 5 to go. I just blow it. I did that this week too.
Well, I was okay, and whenever I went into turn 1, I didn't know it, but my mother-in-law. When I fell out, actually, my mother-in-law actually came in the room and touched me on the arm, and whenever she did that, it kind of broke my concentration right as I was turning. So I can't blame her, but that kind of broke it for me. But either way, we still did good.
Don't these people realize we're going 200 miles an hour and one little lapse, we're in the wall?
Yeah, I know.
So much
it's
easier
funny.
to follow somebody than to be out in the lead and try and set your own pace.
That's true.
It is. But I have so many good memories, and looking to make a whole lot more with the team here, and we just keep moving up and see what we can do with them.
Yeah, yeah, you've been a great addition, Joe. We're so happy to have you, and glad you're here. So welcome. And so let's jump into topics. Greg, you're up first.
I guess we're into more hot fixes or problems that were happening that were gonna need fixes from Indy. Indy was the test week, I guess, and first thing that came out of it was when they brought the servers back up, and there was no lucky dog in the first NIS fixed race at Indy, and then we realized the rest of the week didn't have any lucky dogs. So it was it's a lot of weeks of not getting your laps back, I guess, for those races, and especially the longest race of the that we got left until the Homestead.
Yeah, they never really gave an explanation, but it is fixed this week. Uh, now that we're past Indy.
Well, there wasn't. There was a minor explanation. Remember that there was a post about they tried to shorten the caution laps by one, and it inadvertently screwed up the lucky dog somehow in the coding. So I don't know if that's what it was or that was just how they were using their PR for it.
Sounds like a lack of testing. I mean, if you're going to take away one yellow lap, surely you'd want to test the lucky dog and the wave around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just between some of the stuff that happened, like we had Darlington, we had a pace car problem. There's just these odd code problems that maybe not come up until us guys get out there and do a lot of it. But I mean, that's probably a pretty common one that you should be able to test.
Right, right. All right, let's see what's next. Decided to raise the incident limit to 100 for this event. Now I have the wrong link, but what it's referring to is the endurance race. What is it? The 10 hours of what is it?
It's the Petite Le Mans.
Oh, Petit Le Mans. Initially, they had the incident limit at 50. A lot of people made noise about that, and sure enough, they heard that and they changed it to 100.
Yeah, it's it's probably better that they do that so that people can enjoy themselves for that race. But it's 10 hours. They gave 100 incident for a 24-hour race, so I don't know. It'll be at least they got the limit so people can finish maybe.
Yep. All right. You got the next one. Skid marks.
This one I don't have much. I wasn't looking at, but I guess the skid marks in the build are broken. I'm just reading this for the first time. Sorry.
If you look at the second link and go down, you'll see a
User
picture.
entered your
But
channel.
basically, what we're seeing is when there's a skid mark on the pavement, it looks unnatural. It looks too dark. It looks unnatural. And so people have noticed, and it's been reporting it in the forums. And we finally got a post from Sean Nash regarding a different issue with stuttering, and he's saying it's all tied together. That
I agree with that.
particle effects and the skids, when you have particle effects on high and we have the skid mark, which is compounding the problem, it also has to do with how many mirrors you have on and so forth. And so they're working on it, they're aware of it, it's all tied together. The recommended workaround, if you're having stutters, is to set particle detail to low, use as few mirrors as possible, and limit your FPS to no higher than 150.
So I wonder if that's what was causing all my issues at Indy, because I was having no luck at Indy with all the stuttering that was going on in my races and stuff for myself, and I've never had an issue with any of the settings and stuff like that being on high, and then I've switched some of it off here for Las Vegas, and I had no problems today.
Yeah, the more skid marks that get laid down, the more mirrors you have on, the more issue you're going to have. Yeah, and that's kind of what's going on. And as of now, this isn't fixed, but they're aware of it.
Yeah, it should be, at least if they got an idea about it, maybe we can Maybe that'll have a fix that I can actually turn some of the stuff back up that I know, because I like the particle effects and all that stuff. I like seeing all that stuff that I can run on my
Yeah,
settings.
turn off the mirrors, lower the particles. That's the fix for now. All right, next
The, br-
one was.
I was gonna say, can I take this one since it's right in my wheelhouse?
Oh yeah, because I
This
don't know
one's in
what the
my
heck this
wheelhouse.
is.
This is the Pinty series. Someone asking for the Pinty's car, which is our Canadian NASCAR series. And I remember probably what a month or two ago we had a there was a iRacing was sponsoring one of the cars at one of the tracks, and then they were asking about is this car possibly going to get scanned, and then they were talking that it looks like some people are now really wanting it because someone posted the video from one of our best races of the year here in Canada's at Canadian Motorsport Park, uh, or Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and that was an amazing race. And it was actually a huge hit in the forums here for people that watched it. And I'd like to see these cars get scanned because they're another building series that people would have fun in. That they're a general base setup kind of car, and they run different manufacturers and everything. So it would be interesting to see if they would actually scan this. There's a bunch of people, and they're not just Canadians that are pushing for it.
So let me ask you a few questions. Is it sanctioned by actual NASCAR, NASCAR USA?
Yes, it is a NASCAR sanctioned thing. What it used to be known back in the day was called CASCAR, which is the Canadian. It's the same as NASCAR or the National Association of Stock Car Racing. It's Canadian, the same way, right? So
Right.
eventually, NASCAR bought it, so they went because they used to have different tires that they used to use. They didn't use Goodyears. Now they use Goodyears. They've taken a lot of the stuff from NASCAR and they're using it from NASCAR. Plus, you know, it's advertised on the NASCAR site, the Pinty series, and all that stuff. So it's under
And,
their title.
and Pinty, is that the sponsor?
Yeah, it's a company that
Okay.
makes chicken wings.
Okay. And it kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of Arca. I mean, when I look at the picture, or an older Cup car or something like that.
Yeah, they're a really wide-bodied car. Like if you watch the way they sit, the fenders are flared out. They look kind of really like big broad shoulders on them, and they're really the short track racing. If they scanned a lot of the short tracks here in Canada, we'd have some really good short track racing that they could use for like a D series and iRacing.
Yeah, check it out. Maybe you guys want to have the NASCAR Pinty series. All right, next up is an email from a listener. Team 4X Racing is hosting its first annual tribute race to commemorate the passing of our 4X team leader and legendary Andy Morgan. Andy was a diehard iRacer and did an awful lot for many people in the community, always with a lighthearted Welsh joke and a smile on his face. This
Hey,
will be a
everybody
race
who's
to
watching.
remember Andy by and have some good fun racing with an awesome car track combo that Andy loved to compete in. The race will take place in a hosted session on September 19th at 1800 GMT and will be racing 200 laps at Tally in the Lotus 49. Wow, that sounds fun. The password is Andy Morgan, all one word. As was always the way with Andy, all are welcome, regardless of skill level or background. Thanks, Ben Saunders. All right, Ben, that sounds like fun. Talladega and the Lotus 49 on September 19th.
That does sound like fun.
I
Yeah,
don't think I own the car, but I've tested it.
yeah, that's an interesting car to drive because that's based off of their background in the old what is it, the Grand Prix uh, game they used to have.
Tell you another car if y'all haven't tried it yet is that's the Cadillac at Talladega.
Oh, yeah, that's a blast. Big old pack racing. But the Lotus 49s, you can't be touching wheels, I bet, huh?
Post in chat, guys.
Probably not.
All right, what's next, Greg?
Uh, Good news and still bad news. Obviously, we found out last week that the Roval will not be on the schedule for the NIS series or the A series. They're going to just be using the Cup track, but it looks like when the Roval is completely done, while they were there, they rescanned the Charlotte as well and got new data, or there's new textures and stuff like that. So it looks like we're getting a new Charlotte track, with the roval. So I don't know what that means. They don't specify in here. Does that mean
Well, it means we're
it's
getting
going to
the
be
oval.
pay? Yeah, but we're going to pay again probably too for it. Well, actually, usually if we have it, we get it, don't we?
Yeah. I don't know, but what it means is not just the roval they're scanning; it's the entire oval and everything. So it's like a complete redo.
Which is good because you want everything to flow together, right? Because you're not going to have just textures for the roval and then have a different track altogether to go for the oval.
Right.
Uh, I'm excited. I just wish they would have. I wish the
Got it
roval
done.
would have gotten done, but I'm guessing NASCAR's delay at getting the circuit designed the proper way too probably didn't help them get that done properly.
Yeah, and I imagine there's still being tweaks being done, so maybe iRacing has to scan it again. I would not be surprised. Uh,
We have the perfect person to answer the next one.
I know. I'm glad that Mr. Hammer showed up, but he just went on mute, so I don't know if he can hear me. But this topic, John wrote up in the forums. I wanted to bring it up because it it really gives understanding about what's going on the suspension of these cup cars. And John seems to have a good handle on it. And I wanted to read some of this stuff, even though it's right over my head because I'm really not a setup guy.
So before the context there too, before you read that part, Mike, Mason Bailey had made the post in the first place, right? So asking about right front rebound. When he puts it over 10, the car seems to bottom out on multiple tracks.
Right. And so here's the quote from John. It says, because in the corner you're off throttle, so the nose drops back down, and when it does that with a shock that has a stronger rebound, it's hold down the nose like a clamp. And then you jump on the throttle, the rear is probably pretty soft, the truck arms are down low, so rake flattens out, and the rear end squats out, and the front of the car lifts up using the rear axle as a pivot point. In that situation, the shock is unable to hold down the nose, and there isn't enough aero on the nose to help the shock, so it lifts. But once you take away the leverage and the nose drops, the stronger the rebound is, and the more likely a given spring package is to have the nose stay held down. Okay, translate that for me.
I'd like to. That's why I was hoping Hammer was going to be here because he has a better grasp on it. Because I know with I don't play much around with the shocks on it. I know with the rebounds and the bumps, like bump is acts like spring rate, and rebound is where it holds it. So it, with the way he explains some of that, it's there's a bunch of things going on. I wish he was here to for since it's his words that he's putting here. I don't want to put it in the wrong context here.
Yep. Yeah, I called this topic "Hammer Speak."
I'm here.
There we
Sorry.
go.
We were just talking about you, John, about your post on the shock rebound makes the car bottom out.
Oh,
We were talking about how you have a good understanding, I think, about how the suspension's working, based on what you're writing
Do you
here.
remember the post about the one guy asking about the right front rebound going over 10? He's bottoming it out at multiple tracks in the corner.
yes, I do. Yes, I tried to explain what was going on in there in simple terms, but basically what the shock does is it acts like a retainer. It kind of like an inverted spring, so it's like a pull spring instead of a push spring.
Pushing or pulling the wheel down, or the chassis down on the wheel.
It's pulling the lower control arm. Well, in simple terms, it's pulling the wheel up or pulling the chassis down.
Right.
So what happens is, sorry, I'm walking the dog. When you're out on the track and you get like really, really close to the track, the stronger the shocks are, the more likely you are to be hitting the track as you let off the throttle. Because when you let off throttle, the shock pulls the nose down, the weight shifts forward, and the car kind of dives down at the nose. You get a ton of rake on it. So if you have it set up with very little rebound on the shocks, it doesn't pull the nose down as much, and you don't get as much forward shift on the body.
Right.
When When you add a ton of rebound, you get more of that, and then you could have the splitter hit the track. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, we had a lot of bottoming out and stuff going on, so I thought it'd be good to just bring it up a little bit. But yeah, thanks for the explanation. I did read what you wrote right before you came back on, so I think everyone heard it. All right, what's next, Greg?
User disconnected from your
It
channel.
looks like Phil got some. So he posted up his long letter that he had sent to iRacing about the RX or the Red Bull series. That's the IRX series now, and talking about it. And it looks like he's got lots of responses in the forums about it.
Yeah,
Talking about
including Graham Quinn, who was the guy who helped design Global Rallycross for iRacing. Remember, he is the race engineer for Scott Speed. And he answered the question about the wheels or the tires being grooved or the different types of tires and the question there. And he basically said, I'm going to paraphrase, there's no, you're not going to notice the change. It's no big deal as far as the tires go. But what's neat is you're getting the answer from the horse's mouth, so to speak. There's nobody more qualified to answer the question than the guy who's currently an engineer in the current Rallycross series that's going on, and who also helped design the original Global Rallycross on iRacing. So he's very intimate with both types of racing, and he says, hey, no big deal on the tire. What else was in here that was pretty good? There was something else somebody answered, but I forgot.
I'm just looking through. I'm trying to read some of the stuff
Yeah,
here.
somebody indicated there's no jumps ever in the World Rallycross. All the cars stay on the ground. But anyway, I thought it was interesting that they did get an answer from Graham Quinn about that.
Yeah, it's good to see that you know, some people are seeing exactly. You know, Phil wasn't out in left field. He you know, with it, it looks it was real well written, and it looks like we got some responses, and maybe that'll make some change.
Well, it's you got to talk about it if you want change, and I think that's what we accomplished. So good job, Phil. Moving on, somebody pointed out that something's gone wrong with the current status of the World of Outlaws Championship qualifier. All the information is like missing. And so the question is it canceled? Tyler Hudson posted in the forums. Plan has been changed. I'll have details very soon. Sorry for the inconvenience. So whatever the original plan was, it's apparently gone, and apparently we'll know soon.
Yeah, I'm not
Who
really
knows?
I'm not really an expert on the world of outlaws. I haven't tried very much of the dirt stuff.
Yeah. All right, what's next? Hot fix number 1 and 2.
1, 2, and I guess I'll get through. So we got hot fix 1 release notes here. Um, they they did this on what, Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to see, was there release notes here? Yeah, okay. So the release notes there's a bunch. There's some fixes to heat racing leagues. The Camaro had the improved function to the spot mirror. There was a couple cup fixes. Um, just a couple car little fixes here on the first update. And then did they even have a post for the notes for the second one? Oh, it had heat racing again and cautions. The Lucky Dog
The
was
Lucky Dog, yeah.
was one of them. Skip
And
Barber.
the colored wheels that Chris likes so much. On the Skip Barber, they had the rainbow wheels.
Yeah, I actually thought those were kind of cool. When I was watching one of the races with one of those, someone had posted. It looked like whenever he was braking, it was changing color.
Yeah, and the beta UI, there were some fixes there, but that still is a mess from what I've heard.
Yeah, I was reading that even there's some people that were really complaining about some of the Oculus stuff that was so broken in there with the beta UI. So I don't know what they're doing. I never use that.
I got Oculus and I don't even use it. It's just way too crazy in there.
Yeah, it's a mess. I don't know what they're trying to do, but
They should
All right.
call it Alpha UI, because it's not ready for beta.
Well, what's ABC? Something starting with
Tony, it's
C?
my
Yeah, I don't
phone
know
that keeps going off.
how that works.
It's our
All
messenger.
right, next up, a slight little clarification on how protesting works. I don't know if I knew this, but Tyler posted up. Um, Leagues are on their own deal. League admins are in complete control. We do not step in for private leagues, so you can't protest something if it's a private league.
That's wrong.
That's what he says here.
That's wrong. I've been protested, and I got a warning from running around the bottom of the PRN race,
Wow.
and I was quite angered about it.
Were
So
you doing
that's
your
just wrong.
third gear burnouts again?
No, actually, we had like 5 to go. It was a restart. I got collected in something, but I retained my position. But I was smoking, so I just ran around the apron and stayed out of everybody's way. And somebody protested it because had I not done that, I would have fell back like 20 positions. And we've also been protested in leagues for running on other people's accounts.
Well, yeah,
That's actually
serious.
happened. That's actually happened a few times. But the league admin allowed us to do that. The league admin said, if you need a substitute driver, they can substitute drive on your account. iRacing came in and said, no, you can't do that. So whatever Tyler's going on about is just flat out wrong.
That's interesting.
I'm wondering if it's a policy change, maybe? Like, when was the last time that these things were happened to you, John? Maybe it's something they just changed now.
Where is that? Because I'm going to go reply to that.
It's on a thread called iRacing Presents Petit Le Mans.
It's in the special events one.
Page 17. Anyway, he also says open hosted races can be protested and are viewed just like official races. Sporting code is always in effect on open servers unless the host specifically specifies in the description the sporting code is not in effect. At that point, it's up to the host to do what he wants. So, anyway, yeah, go reply and see if we can get some clarification, because I think it's good that people understand when sporting code is in effect, so to speak. All right, Greg, what's next? We talked about the stuttering. Skip that one. Let's go on to the next.
All right. I guess the next post is Camaros. People wanting to see what you guys have all painted. So there's a tweeting on iRacing showing all the different paint jobs for the brand new Camaro, and man, there's some really top-notch paint jobs on here.
Yeah, if you like paints, this is the thread to be on, because if you look at the replies, there's dozens of paint jobs, and man, some of them are just incredible.
They have one of my favorite ones down a little bit further. They have the old Dale Earnhardt multicolored splashed one. That one's awesome.
Oh, the rainbowish one.
Yeah, that one's
that's
awesome.
Really nice. Yeah, I saw that.
There's a bunch in here, and there's the old Jeff Gordon paint jobs. There's the one thing about these templates and stuff, as they get better, the painters are getting better and better every time.
And of course, somebody's got Smokey and the Bandit, the Trans Am for Burt Reynolds' Bandit car. That looks pretty cool. I actually raced that guy this week, I think.
Yeah, there's a bunch of old throwback paint jobs. There's cup paint jobs that are now. There's some retro, thinking or paint jobs that they're ideas of what these paint jobs should look like with some certain sponsors. It's really cool.
It is. All right, next topic. I wish Chris was here for this. I'm not sure why Chris missed us tonight, but we posted earlier this week on our social media, and hopefully you listeners saw that Chris's wife, Samantha, is going through some very tough medical issues right now. She's on her 4th round of cancer, actually. And they're trying to raise some funds so they can move back to be closer to her family as she goes through treatment. And so they started a GoFundMe page for Samantha to try to raise some funds so they can help her move back to see her family. And with that being said, Greg, you, on behalf of Tifosi Racing and iRacers Lounge, have organized a fundraiser. Tell us about that.
Yeah, me and you talked right off the bat as soon as I saw the post we got from Samantha about it, and Chris just messaged me now why he missed. I just saw it. Apparently she's having a rough day, so that's why he didn't make the podcast. So we're thinking of Sam. And this race that we're organizing right now, we're gonna run it on to all our listeners, to anybody who wants to enter, on October 3rd. It's a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna have the room will open an hour before. Um, Now the way we're gonna make this race work is the the spot for the race is going to be by your donation to their GoFundMe page. So we're making a $25 donation to their page. You get a buy-in for the race. Now, it's going to be a 100-lap race. There's stages. There's two 30-lap stages, and the last stage is 40 laps. We have normal qualifying and all that stuff. We will have more. All the details are going to be sent. The way that this works, though, is you have to send me a personal email saying you want to be entered in the race, and then we confirm that you've made the donation to that you're entered in the race. You confirm the donation has been made, and then we'll be sending you all the details through your email, because that's how we're going to be able to donate or get the prizes out to the winners too afterwards, is by using the emails. You need to also include in that email your iRacer's driver's name, your preferred car number, and then make sure that that's the email you want everything sent to, is what you're sending it from to me. So the way you can reach me is at frozencactus@gmail.com. So it's FROOZENKAKTUS@gmail.com. I'll be taking all the emails. I will be setting it all up. It'll be going through me. This race is going to be broadcasted as well. We have Rudy from Max Speed TV. He's going to be announcing it, and they're broadcasting it. They're helping us out with it. Some of this stuff, just so that people know, the prize. We've had some donations from some of our fellow iRacer Lounge members, as well as I've already reached out to a couple third-party companies' products. MPI is going to be donating for the winner a wheel combo valued of over $100.
Whoa.
So that's what the winner would get. We got some second and third place prizes. We got stage winner prizes and a couple more things for everybody else. So we're trying to help out our fellow iRacer here, and this is what we need from everybody. If you just start sending me the emails, and we'll get all the 40 spots filled up for this wonderful race. The setup is going to be a fixed setup too. I forgot about that. And I've talked to John Hamber. He is going to make the setup for that for all of us.
Thank you, John. All right. Wow. So a lot going on. I mean, so it's only $25 to get involved. The money, all of that, $25 goes to Samantha and Chris to help with her cancer stuff. And you get a chance to win an MPI wheel combo or some of these other great prizes. I think we need to just list those out real quick. One of them was $5 with a free paint scheme from Jonas Graphics.
That's for the pole winner.
And then you got the stage winners as the Papa John's Pizza gift cards.
Yep. And then we've also, MPI has donated for second and third gift cards for $25 value.
And the Mystery Award gift cards to MK Jewelry and Gems. Now, guys, this is what you get when you win this. You get something for your wife, and boy, she's going to like that. So let's talk about how to enter. Again, it's not as confusing as Greg mentioned. I'm just kidding. So really, you have to go to GoFundMe.com. You search 4 words. The words are Samantha Marie Round 4. Samantha Marie Round 4. She's on round 4 of this cancer. And that will take you to the very first search result is her. And you'll see her beautiful face right there on the page. But yeah, go ahead and do at least a $25 donation. Send that email to Frozen Cactus. That's 2 O's in Frozen, 2Ks and cactus at gmail.com. That's it. That's all you have to do. So GoFundMe.com, Samantha Marie Round 4. All right. Did we miss anything?
Yeah, just everything will be on the details. Well, like as long as you send me the email, all the details will be sent out to you confirming that you're going to be entered in the race, and we'll just compare it with the GoFundMe, and we'll look forward to racing with everybody on the third because you're going to get to race with the iRacers Lounge personalities. There's a lot of us going to be racing in it.
Yeah, we want to fill the room, guys. We want 40 people, okay? Well, actually 39 because of the broadcaster, but we want 39 people at 25 bucks. That's going to be enough money to raise to actually get these people moved, to get their family moved from one state to another. So let's do it. Let's fill the room, guys. Even if you can't race on that Wednesday, please, please, please make a donation if you can. $5, anything, and it helps. And so I do know that Chris personally appreciates it. He did feel initially felt a little bit awkward about talking about the GoFundMe, but you know what? When we're a community here at iRacing, especially here in Team Tifosi, when it affects one of our own, we're going to step up and do whatever we can. So we're going to call it "Beat the Hell Out of Cancer 250" is the name of the race. October 3rd, guys. Please, 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 let's fill the room.
Also, Mike, the other thing that thanks for Tony on my chat here to remind us, we are going to be posting this after the podcast on all social media forums and everything like that to get the word out.
Yeah, get that link out. We'll put the GoFundMe link out again. Yeah, on the forums. We'll put it on social media. We're also going to put it in the description of the podcast. So if you're listening, go to the description and you'll be able to click it from there. All right, we'll also put
Thanks,
Greg's
Tony.
email address in the description as well. All right, let's keep moving. Bottom split broadcast was hilarious. Hammer, I think you were watching it last night. Tell us what you thought.
It was fun watching Chris in the car.
Yeah, the fun part was Chris's paint job. Tell us what you saw.
A really nasty looking pink car with eyebrows on the back.
Bright pink. I mean, like girly pink, right?
Oh, it was bad.
That would be Tony's paint job there that he made him run for the bet he lost, right?
So there's a bet. What was it, football or what was it?
Was it? I don't remember what the bet. I wanted to
Fantasy
say.
racing.
Fantasy football.
Oh, it was fantasy
Something.
football.
So yeah, he lost the bet, so he had to run in the league, the old bastard racing league. It was the last. It was bottom split NIS. I'm sorry. He had to run that in a public room as part of losing the bet. But it was pretty funny. I did look at the broadcast briefly to see that paint job, and the guys on the broadcast, they were just taking full advantage of it. They were just cracking up. It was funny the way they were talking about it. But yeah, that's fun to check out. So check out the bottom split broadcast. Jordan Worth is the guy putting that up, and those guys are funny.
Well, I remember beforehand, I think Chris, I didn't know, but he was having to run that paint job. But now everything in the chat makes sense where he was saying he hopes he doesn't in the bottom split tonight because he was afraid that he was going to get televised.
Right.
Oh, I explained it for him.
Oh, you were in there helping him along? Oh, yeah. All right,
No,
good.
I didn't crew or anything, but I was watching the thing and I was in the chat and I was like, he lost a bet. And they're like, oh.
Aha, there you go. Good explanation, I guess. All right, what's next, Greg?
I'm missing a post here. Hold on. So the
New
do damage model. I was actually just reading this one a minute ago before I came into the podcast here. So it's a picture someone sent of some of the pieces missing on some of the cars here. It looks like the open wheel cars is the most common one that they're showing. And Alex Horn was joking at the beginning of the posts here where he was finding people that posting these pictures and then making it sound like he was sending the army out to go get them for posting pictures like that. But then they did confirm later on that I'll read one from it looks like from Brian Simpson from the staff. He says, the art side, we are in the process of converting all cars into the new damage system. So because of that, you may notice part of the cars coming off that have never been come off before. That doesn't mean that what you're seeing is new damage system though. It happened. What is happening is that we are hooking up the new removable parts to the old system so that the two models can work in unison when they come out with the new model. Um, Having said all that, he says it doesn't mean that the new damage system is right around the corner. The art is the easy side of things. It's the engineering part that's going to take a while.
Yep. Yep. So you can see the wheels come off of these open wheel cars if you wreck into the wall. The front wheel will just disappear. You won't like see it roll down the road. Like eventually that will happen. It'll like roll down the road with you. But in this case, it just completely disappears. You'll see a Indy car here without a right front. It's just like gone. So yeah, pretty cool. Check it out if you're in an open wheel car. Somebody else said the Mazdas also do something similar.
Yeah, there was also everybody there was. I think they were trying to keep people from thinking the tire model was coming out because someone right after that post said, "Thank you for confirming the new damage model's coming," and then that set out even more off in the forums here.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a work in progress. Next up is Ty Dillon on the RCR racing rig. Now we talked about this all throughout the season. We kind of quit for a while because it was kind of getting redundant, but I noticed it again. And he talks about Indy and how to get around Indy, and his comments are actually spot on as far as I'm concerned. He really tells you how to get around. And Greg, you've been putting up videos of doing a lap at the tracks. How does yours compare to Ty's?
Well, I'm never gonna comparison to a NASCAR driver, but he explains it very well in there and how to get around. The thing with he's got a much better setup to an understanding of the track than I have, and we were going into that week with a whole different mindset of new setups and things like that, trying to figure it out. And I had a good week at Indy, but I'm nowhere near his lines. But it's good to see that when he posts something like that, you can appreciate him taking the time to get it out to people.
Yep. Yeah, pretty cool. I think RCR does that. So, all right, what's next?
Let's see. Let's bring up the link here. So this Ty Majeski, I guess, for Ford Performance, finished looks like second in
Second
their
at Laguna
Mustang
Seca.
in Laguna Seca because they was talking about the corkscrew, and he is a quote from him. The quote on Twitter is, "The corkscrew was cool. I really like this track on iRacing. Obviously, it's really cool, close to real life. I got some time on the Ford simulator in North Carolina, too, so I had a lot of seat time before I showed up. It was a good run for us. P2. If it's the first time he's got in that car, that's a really good finish.
And a road course. So you remember, Ty is an oval guy.
Yeah, and that's see, this is another reason where sim racing translates to the real world.
Yeah. It does. Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into hardware software. Next up is a hand controller for the disabled for throttle and brake. It's from a site that we've talked about before. It's called 3drap.it. 3drap.it. And anyway, you can get a hand a hand
Thanks for the
controller.
text message,
It's kind of
Dana.
cool if you look at the pictures of where he's actually got his hands on an actual steering wheel. What you do is you strap this little contraption on the back of your hand, and then your thumb has these little triggers for throttle and brake. And then your hand obviously is sitting on a normal steering wheel that you're turning left and right, but the throttle brake are right at your thumb on the thing that's strapped on the back of your hand. So kind of a neat design, I thought.
Yeah, it's an interesting product here. I don't, it's, I guess,
It
yeah,
74 pounds, I
yeah.
think, but it is European, so or 74 euros. I'm sorry.
Just trying to look at the pictures. So yeah, it's actually a pretty. So what are they using that on? It's a Thrustmaster wheelbase, and then they got it on his hand. That's kind of cool though. The way it's just I guess is it USB probably?
Yeah, it's got a USB cable plugged into it, and it's got two little thumb levers that are positioned right where your thumb would be, and you just strap this thing on your hand, and pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it's another way of doing it, I guess. Like I guess I have my McLaren rim here behind me, and it's got two extra paddles on the bottom that can be analog paddles that could be used for that too off of the wheel already designed on it. So it's another version, a way of doing it, I guess.
All right, what's next?
So new phone holder running dash rails. Let's see what this is. So I have not watched this video, and I don't really want to bring it up here. So Mike, have you looked at this? I
Oh yeah,
just
this
don't
is
want it to go
cool.
crazy on my stream
It's
here.
by Rick. It's by Rick Motec. Okay, and they got this little thing that you take apart your steering wheel and you clamp this piece into it, and it basically is a cell phone holder, and it turns the cell phone into a electronic dash basically, and it's got a kind of a carbon fiber look to it. It's got a little plate that goes over to hide the bezels of your iPhone or whatever you stick in there, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, I kind of like it. I wonder if it would be compatible with my G27. I don't think so. It looks like it's compatible with Thrustmasters. You can see in the video he takes it apart to put the thing on it. But once he gets it installed, it looks really cool. You can't even tell it's a cell phone at all. I mean, the way it's designed.
Well, I used to run something like that on my G27 with in the center of it, so because I used to use I'm trying to remember the app that I used to use before they have all the sim racing apps. There was another one.
I got iRace Dash, which
There's
is an
that
old
one. I
one.
can't think of the name of it. It was an older one that sometimes you could donate and you get a better version of it. I can't remember what it's called now, but I was one back in 2012, 2013. So it's a while ago.
Yeah, I like this because I have an iPhone 5S sitting on top of my G27. It's not mounted very well. There's actually a piece of wire going from one vent hole to the other vent hole, and the iPhone is kind of leaning against it. And so occasionally it falls off and that kind of thing. So I've always been looking for something better. But that's a neat design. So check it out, Rick Motec on Facebook. Next is more
Podium.
information about the podium wheels.
Yeah, and at
Uh,
the Sim Expo.
that's right. And basically, he's announcing there will be a new steering wheels available um, that they're going to show at the Sim Racing Expo.
I can't wait.
So that starts tomorrow and goes this weekend, right? Well, it would probably be starting right now. Well, in a
Yeah,
couple hours,
yeah,
middle of the
I
night
think
they
it is.
usually are. Because usually when I have to get a hold of my contact at Fanatic in Germany, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So
And so another post by Thomas about this as well is he said you can already add third party steering wheels with electronics to our universal hub as long as they're using a USB cable for the non Fanatec electronics. Early next year, we offer a podium wheel adapter, which is like a simplified universal hub, but without buttons, which would work with third party rims as well. We will be showing this adapter at the expo as well.
so that explains because the other thing is they've also been getting into this adapter market big time because I got an email from because I'm a Fanatic I own Fanatic products. They sent me some of the stuff that they have on sale right now, and their adapters are on sale for this expo. So that's why I'm wondering. It looks like they're starting to do more adapters to accommodate every wheel type that you can come up with.
Well, it eliminates the people's reason for not buying one of their bases. Oh, because I have all these other wheels or whatever. But he does say if you want to have a wireless steering wheel, which is hot swappable, you'll have to have a Fanatec wheel.
Well, it's just making sure that people get them. Like, all you really need is if you have a hub, like one of the Xbox hubs or something like that, or their universal hub, you can put any steering wheel on their universal hub. So it's pretty much that's all you really need to get.
Like if you want a Max Pappas wheel, right?
Yeah, because when I was talking to MPI, I was looking through their stuff, and you can buy the adapter for Fanatec that bolt pattern for that wheel that fits into their universal hub. So you can have it on you can have a Max Pappas wheel on the hub that I have right now that I'm using with my wheel that I have right now.
Yep.
You running a 2.5?
No, I have the CSL Elite.
Right. Yeah. The more we talk about the podium Fanatec stuff, the more I'm interested in it for sure. I probably need a new computer and video card before I need a wheel, though. Let's get into results. Indy, let's finish up last week. Thursday fixed. I ran P19. Got caught up in a wreck with 1 minute damage, got it fixed, moved back up to the top 10, was running third with 23 to go, and looked down to my phone on the backstretch, and immediately I was into the wall. 17 minutes damage. I didn't finish the race. Man, it's just like you said, Joe, when somebody touches you or you get distracted just for a second, man, it doesn't take much. I was going straight down the backstretch and I somehow hit the wall.
It's a ball game whenever things like that happen, and it just takes your attention right off of what you're doing, and that's it.
Yep. Friday Open, our very own Chris Scales wins P1. He played the safe route and hung out in the back for the beginning of the race. A few of the faster guys wrecked out. He led the last 92 laps, 0 incidents. Wow, congratulations, Chris. It's been a long time, and he got it done.
Yeah, I thought about doing that same strategy, and then they were like, no, go ahead and qualify. And lo and behold, when I qualified, I got the pole, and I was like, oh, okay. So I stayed up front most of the time, but I didn't lead that many laps. But we were there in the top 5 for most of the race anyway.
Now, when did you run that Friday, Joe?
No, I ran that Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. All right, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about Tony's run. Tony Rochette, he got a P4. He was running with Chris. Cautions early, then a long green flag run after. He was car number 2. Got checked up on lap 9, got rear-ended by a tailgater. Setup was fast, long green flag run and damaged, but put me a lap down. Only 2 cars finished on lead lap. Congrats to Chris Scales on the win.
It was good to see Chris chatting about it in our chat and everything, and it's a good run. He's had some tough weeks and he needed that.
Okay, and then over the weekend morning events, Greg, you got wrecked out.
Yeah, the Saturday one, P30, wrecked out. Don't ask. I shouldn't have woken up for that at all.
And then P28 wrecked out Sunday.
That one I rage quit. I've never rage quit, and I was so frustrated. I I messaged Mike afterwards. I was like, I was so mad after that. I should have been starting up front. I wasted time doing something before the race. Didn't qualify, started in the back, and got wrecked out because I was back there, and I caused my own thing. I rage quit and left and went and did yard work. I took it out of my yard.
Okay, and then Joe, you were telling us about your run, a hell of a run. I think you said second?
Yeah, you're right, Tony.
Yeah, I finished second in that one.
Yeah, so how did you get to second? Did you run up there the whole race or what?
Yeah, oh, well, like I said, I had qualified on the pole, and I didn't make it quite the first lap, and the guy took over. And with the setup that we had in the car, it was a long run car. So once we got the quick cautions out of the way, and I think the furthest I fell back was 9th, and that was because I came down pit road on strategy and then come back out. But I stayed in the top 5 most of the race, and here in the closing laps, I got run the guys down and took the lead until I had my little mishap happen in turn 1 with 4 laps to go.
Right. All right, Sunday night. Boy, I don't even know where I finished. I got DQ'd out. I was involved in so many different incidents. A real bad night for me. Uh, Greg, you got a P7, and Tony Rochette also P7.
Yeah, I know Tony. Tony was. We were chatting back and forth. That race on Sunday night took a while to finish for me, but it was a really eventful race. I went back and forth from probably from 19th up to I think the highest I got was 6th, back and forth a bunch of times because of just cautions and stuff. The problem with the fixed races is you lose if you lose any momentum off the corner, you're gonna lose time down the straightaway, and that's just and everybody dives in the corner, and it just never ends up being any of those momentum tracks. People overdrive and it really doesn't work. There's no give or take. It's always just gonna take.
Right. All right, let's talk about this week. I ran Wednesday fixed P21. We did green flag stops at Vegas. Caution came out before it cycled. Everybody had pitted but the leader. So we did a wave around. It was about 20 laps on my tires. And then on the restart after the wave around, I spun my tires and turned that baby right into the wall. First time I think I've done it all year. And boy, there is no grip on those restarts if you're on old tires. Be warned, I tell you. And then Wednesday Open, I ran last night, P13. Not a bad run. I did lose several spots with 5 to go. I just choked under the pressure, I guess. My spotter is back, though. I have a human spotter again. I did miss him a couple races in Indy, but boy, he makes a difference. I actually run better when he's helping. I don't know why.
I think we're having problems with his.
That encouragement right there. That's where me and Bobby, when Bobby ever got on the box with me, man, he just keeps me calmer.
Yeah, it's a focus. I don't know what it is, but it helps. So P13, it was a good run considering. And then Tony Groves, he got a P8. Good solid run he put. A couple of trips through the grass, one my doing and another from getting doored. He got completely hosed on the last restart, being stuck behind a couple guys that wouldn't go. Pretty confident he could have got a P6, but he got a P8. And he was mad, I want to say. He was really verbalizing his angry at those guys. But it happens, man. I was angry last week, so. All right, we just finished another open. I got P19 in the top split. Mike Morley got P13 with me. I did a loop on the back stretch. I spun off of turn 2. I did a complete 180. I did not hit the wall at all. If you remember, Martin Truex did this the other week. He spun out and he stepped on the gas real hard. He dropped it in the third and hit the gas to keep it off the wall. Well, I did exactly the same thing and it worked. And I kept it off the wall. Was able to continue on. So P19 top split, I'll take it. There were hardly any cautions. It was a lot of green flag running. And then, Greg, you got the best result of the week so far, P2. Wow.
Yeah, me and I don't remember. I didn't see where Bobby finished there. I was just gonna look that up. Bobby was in the same race as me. Um, we were up front the whole race. The problem was is we kept about lap 20 is whenever guys were getting loose and their setups weren't going good and they would crash. And I think the same guy brought out the same caution about 3 or 4, or brought out a caution 3 or 4 times, and it was always around lap 20, 21, and um, yeah, so it wasn't a very good. It was good 20 lap runs, but it was. I would love to have seen what a long run would have done with what we were running. Bobby finished 13th, so I got second. Um, I was up front the whole race. I had some really bad pit stops and was able to work my way through a bunch of times. It was my first race trying a new product that I purchased, and it actually worked out really well. And I know at the beginning of the race, Mike bet me that I was going to crash out, so I tell Mike that I didn't, and I got a good finish out of it.
Yeah, you can't beat that except for winning. So, yeah, good run.
can't seem to get past that P2. I gotta find something.
Well, at least you see you got to be at the P2 spot before you can win, and you're there, so you're knocking on the door. All right, let's keep moving. Next up was Peak. I didn't actually watch it, but our old friend Logan Clampett got his first win of the year, and so congratulations to him. Let's remind everybody that we are sponsored or are sponsoring the Old Bastards Racing League Monday Night ARCA Series. We appreciate Steve Thompson and everybody over there at the Old Bastards Racing League for including iRacers Lounge in their Monday night series. And so check those guys out. Get involved. If you have to be over 35, guys, it's an age limit group. You have to be an old bastard. That's what I understand. All right, let's get into final thoughts.
That peak race.
Yeah, tell us
I
about
don't
the
know
peak
what you're
race,
talking.
Joe. Did you see
I
it?
must have missed something on the chat.
Yeah, I
there,
watched the peak race.
browser.
It was a whole lot of cautions in that race. I mean, everybody, it was, I guess, from where they're trying to get in and
No idea.
next step to that championship, there was a whole lot of taking and not a whole lot of giving.
Wow. Yep, it's getting down to the end of the year here, so. All right,
Yeah, because, I mean, Ray Alfala got wrecked out. I mean, he was still running, but he wasn't in contention. Loser. I mean, a whole lot of top-notch guys got taken out for guys just taken. I mean, whenever they dropped the green, it looked like a hornet's nest going into turn one because they were just mixing it up real hard.
Well,
it's the only place you can get a spot is on those restarts.
And I saw that Ray Alfala posted on his Facebook page that he's just on the border of being in for the final race of the season, so he's got to perform at the next race, or he could be not race for the championship.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I'll have to check the replay on that. All right, let's get into final thoughts. Greg Hectus, what do you got?
Just looking forward to this week's racing. Actually, sorry, I'm probably pretty much done for this week's racing because I'm now starting something where I can't race on Sundays anymore. But I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody with the emails and helping out Chris and his wife Samantha. We really want to race with you guys in that race, and we'd hope that everybody can get contact me and get going here. Yeah, so just don't forget.
No pressure on the setup, huh?
Yeah, we don't want to wreck. We need something stable, right?
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got just get through this week. You can still follow me also on my Twitter page or my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/frozencactus. And yeah, so hope to watch or hear from you guys.
All right, cool. All right, John Hammer, final thoughts. Any?
Nope, none for me.
All right.
He's mad at me.
Thanks for jumping in today. Special guest, Joe Owen, your final thoughts, please.
And first of all, I'd like to thank y'all for inviting me and having me a member of the team. I'm looking forward to the future and really looking forward to this race with for Chris and Sam. I don't know what they go through on that aspect of it, but whenever somebody needs help, we all need to be there. And with iRacing being a community that we are, I feel like everybody should be well obligated to want to step up and help a fellow person out, and and it's just a good warming thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and when the man's down, you can't kick him. You gotta help pick him up and carry that flag to make it to victory lane. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That's right. Much like the NASCAR community, the racing community, iRacing is a similar situation. We'll step up, take care of our own. Yeah, my final thoughts. Yeah, thanks, Joe, for coming. You're certainly welcome back anytime at all, and we do appreciate you being on the team. My final thoughts is, yeah, let's get this race filled up, guys. It's the same time slot as the NIS race, and yeah, I was thinking, boy, I don't want to miss my NIS race, but this is an important cause, and it's okay to miss one event so we can run a special event. Again, it's called Beat the Hell Out of Cancer 250. And I'm going to remind everybody how to get involved. You go to GoFundMe.com and search 4 words: Samantha Marie Round 4. You make a $25 or more donation. You email Greg at Frozen Cactus with two O's on Frozen, 2 K's on Cactus at gmail.com. And that's it. And we'll send you all the information. It is October 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern. And with that, we'll see you later.
Well, that's
User in your
the
channel
podcast
stopped
for the week,
recording.
Okay, clear.
guys.
Title ideas?
Oh, it sounds good to me.
I was gonna say just beat the hell out of cancer.
Beat the hell out of Cancer 250?
Yeah. Might as well make
Right, that's it.
make it easier.
We're running at it with a Daytona.
Daytona, yeah, with a fixed hammer set. If he still wants to talk to me
User
anymore.
entered your channel.
Why?
Oh, I was just
Right.
typing back to you, Hammer. I was only running one open this week. There's something, what Mike was saying in the chat yesterday, the front end's doing something really washy.
I got to bounce. I'll be back later, guys.
All right, later, Mike. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's bottoming out or what, but you turn in, it grabs, and then it lets go, and then it grabs, and then it lets go.
That's a tire skip. It's skipping across the bump.
Could it be that it's the ride height?
Let's play that again.
I think I need to put some packer in it.
Okay, yeah, it was going crazy. Like you turn it in, it was fast. It's just if you miss the line and it did that wash, you could risk washing up especially out of 4 into the wall.
Explain to Bobby what it was doing again.
What was that?
Oh, just Bobby's here. To him, what was happening?
Well, when you turn it into the corner, it'd go. If you got the line right, you could get through the corner, but it would grab the tire. It felt like it was grabbing the tire, letting go, grabbing, and letting go, and it could do it multiple times. I was going to send you a video of the front end of my car watching how it would do it. It just felt, and then one of the videos one of the things I was watching, I want to replay is, it looked like I was bottoming out with something in the back too, because I was getting sparks.
That's going to come from the truck arm.
Yeah. All right, I'm out for the stream, guys. Everybody, thanks.
It should be pretty easy to
Were you
fix.
lose it, like, were you sliding up the track when that was happening?